Welcome back to Internet Expert. I'm your host, Wild Will, and today we have a very special episode on Internet Expert. Uh, Today we have Mimi, the host of Tiny Tea Podcast, uh, and also just my very good friend. Uh, how are you?
Good, good. I just got finished doing a pride painting for our neighborhood, so that was fun, but also tiring.
Yeah, the heat was definitely not it
Yeah,
today, for sure.
pride was definitely priding. It was hot, so
It's good. It's a good way to wrap up the month, though.
yeah, excellent last day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Always nice to give back to the community.
yeah, love it. So thanks for
Um,
having me.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for showing. So do you want to tell people a little more about you, what your podcast is about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'm Mimi from Tiny Tea Podcast. So we're a podcast for girls, gays, and theys, really geared towards the queer community and women. Just because I feel like those are the voices that sometimes aren't heard as much. So I just want to be a platform for them. And we talk a lot about what's happening in the news. We talk about astrology. We do some meditations. It's really a lot of storytelling. So we use
Mm.
community leaders who I bring onto the podcast to really talk about their expertise.
Expertise.
Yeah, expertise. A
Perfect.
lot of T puns on there.
Awesome. And what inspired you to start that podcast?
um, I've always wanted to start a podcast. I dabbled in it a little bit, but didn't have like the technology for it. And now I think it's become easier and more at your fingertips to like not only buy the equipment, but use technology to do it. So it really just was a matter of time before I had a podcast.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really love how the entire podcast is rooted in community and giving people space who are not able to be heard. Is there a moment when you realize that this is what you have to be doing?
I think those moments come sporadically. Sometimes you're just so in the thick of it that you're like, why am I doing this? And then someone says something really inspiring, or someone makes a comment and says, oh, I heard your podcast. That was really good. Or that really touched me, or I felt really connected to the story. And then those are the moments where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this. Like this is makes sense. It's meant to be. Like I'm in the right place.
Mm.
Those serendipitous moments you get.
Yeah, and I definitely think you are the work that you put in with the podcast and also like the Hive and just all the community events that you just coordinate it. There's definitely a lot of people in this town who benefit from it for sure.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do what I can. I think everybody tries at
Mm.
least. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. So you call yourself a witchy Latina guide, um, which is great. Can you break that down and what your identity means to you personally and in your work?
Yeah. I say witch Latina because I feel like those are simple ways to try to connect with me. I think I'm much more than that. There's so many facets to me. Not that I think there's so many facets to everybody, but I really really gravitate to being witchy because I think it's ingrained in what I do. And you know me as a friend, it's like we're talking, and then all of a sudden we're talking about the universe and we're doing a ceremony. Like it's really ingrained in my lifestyle. It's
Mm.
ingrained in my morning, my morning journaling. It's ingrained in how I process fear and death. So it's who I am. It's not only part of my culture from my ancestors, it's also just part of who I am now. And being Latina is something that is important to me. Being born in Mexico, it's a big part of me, and I really am proud of it.
Mm.
and it's unique, especially where we're located. There's not a lot of people of color, so it makes me interesting, and I like to share my culture with people, and especially the witchiness, something I share with all of you.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
no, I definitely have found that just having ceremony to be an amazing thing. It is very fulfilling. Um, I definitely encourage people to reach out and try something new. Right, like
Yeah,
there's so many ways to be grateful and show gratitude to the universe for
yeah,
sure.
and I think witchiness is it can mean a lot of different things, so it's inclusive. You can practice in your own ways, whether you're incorporating hoodoo or
Mm,
even herbalism is like connected to curanderismo. So it's like everything is connected. So yeah, I talk about being witchy in an inclusive way. Yeah.
mm. That's great. Yeah, there's probably so many people out there who could identify with that who don't really, I don't know, realize what that culture is even about.
hmm
Um, yeah. So, what is your philosophy, especially going off of the witchy nature, on healing and mental health? Not, I guess, not only for you, but for your audience and who you're trying to reach.
So I'm studying to be a social worker and an LCSW. So that's a licensed social worker. Um, so I'm going to be helping people navigate through the troubles that they have, especially when it comes to like emotional and mental issues. And we all have them throughout our lives. You know, some people have a harder time than others. Some people have more needs than others, different needs than others. But I think it's vital. It's a big part of our overall wellness as a human being.
Mm,
Mental health is huge for me. I've struggled with my own mental health issues. I suffer from postpartum depression and regular depression and seasonal depression. So having had those experiences, I can really empathize with folks that are struggling, and who is not struggling right now.
mm.
It's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard out
it's
there.
hard to find anyone who is not right. The post COVID world, right, is
Right.
kind of. I think especially in the future, like how we always talk about like a post 9/11 world and like a post World War II
Mhm.
world. I think there's definitely going to be a post COVID world that people are going to start referencing, and probably
Yeah,
soon.
and the post like technology era, like
Yeah, post
technology
AI.
post AI, like that's really affecting us in ways we have no idea just quite yet how badly it has. But there has been studies about how badly it's affecting the youth, which is the population I'm trying to
Protect.
focus and protect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the suicide rates are so scary right now
Hmm.
for young adults. So we these this is the population that needs our help,
Wow.
and it's like, what's the whole point of being alive if our kids are going to be suffering like that? I don't know. That's my thought form.
No, I think that's great. There's like a really profound quote that goes something like society is at its best when men are planting trees that they'll never sit under the shade of,
Period.
right?
Yes, I love
So,
that. There's
um,
a African proverb when people want to know how the health of the community is going, they say, "How are the children?"
mm,
That's the defining factor of how well the community is doing. If the children are good, we're fine.
wow,
Yeah. So how are the children?
how are they?
Not great.
Not great
Not
right
great.
now, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, definitely needs some work.
Yeah. I think that it's again, it takes a village, it takes a community. It's not only up to the parent or the single kind of nucleus,
Mm.
because children take and learn from all over the place, especially in if you're living in the social world, in the social media world.
Oh
You
yeah, they're
know,
absorbing all of that.
they're watching you, they're listening. Not that you have to like, stop. doing what you're doing, but just maybe be a little more conscious of the type of things that you're putting out.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like this podcast is excellent, so that it can, motivate them, give them
Mm,
something to entertain themselves, but also, yeah, something positive.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, going off of that, do you think wellness spaces have become more inclusive, and how much, and I guess what type of work still needs to be done?
Oh, that's a great question. I think everyone's trying their best right now to be inclusive in the wellness space. Some are doing really great work. Some are still focusing on the wrong things. Um, I think where we could use a little bit more work is not being so much about money and about co-opting other cultures and making them your own for money.
Mm,
So, um, we when I offer when I offer ceremony, I offer it to teach people about indigenous cultures and some of the things that I've learned that are very sacred to me. Um, and if somebody were to take that and try to make it their own and make profit out of
mm.
off of it, that's where it gets scary and sticky and not right, right? So I
Yeah,
think that's where wellness sometimes co-ops from you know
sure. Yeah,
minorities.
yeah. There's a lot of right, like second-rate shamans.
Right,
Like, everybody wants to be a guru and
right.
has like the best health tips or whatever, and it's just like you're spouting like just basic level shit, and it's just like not great.
Yeah, it's scary too because I think about like plant medicine. You and I have talked about it before, and it's at least for me is a huge part of my healing journey. Um, but if we have a situation where the plant is taken out of context, it's put into a ceremony that is like fabricated, it loses its potency. So, like for example, I'm hearing that there's like ayahuasca ceremonies and like yoga studios with like, ladies that are like talking about chakras and stuff and it's just
Mm,
like we're losing the basis of what that ceremony was supposed to be about and taking it from the indigenous people and making it like yassifying it or like glamorizing it.
yeah,
Right?
gentrifying
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
gentrifying it is a good
yeah,
word.
gentrifying the whole healing process that many cultures hold
Right.
to such a high value,
Right.
right? Like I know, especially for like Native Americans and probably a lot of indigenous tribes in Mexico as well, with
Mm-hmm.
peyote,
Yeah.
right? Like the idea that like so many people are poaching it, and it's like, hey guys, like this was our medicine. This is what we use. You
Yeah.
guys have your own Western medicine that
Right.
you can use. It's like, and if you just like come down here and keep taking our stuff, we're not going to have our medicine anymore.
Right. Yeah. Like I mean, sage was is endangered. Palo Santo's
Oh
endangered.
man.
White sage is endangered, and it's because we're using it for like aesthetics. And I say we because I've made the mistake myself, and I think
Mm,
it's everybody's responsibility to be like, okay, where is this from? Where am I buying it from? What does it mean? What's like do a little bit of that research and like try to honor the roots of if you can give the money to the right folks, to the people that it belongs to.
oh yeah.
Yeah, like I went to the powwow. Remember the powwow we went to a couple years back?
Yeah, that powwow was
Yeah,
great.
the powwow was great. It was the Pequot tribe in Connecticut, and we bought some sage from them, and it felt right. It felt like the money was
Mm.
going where it needed to go, and I didn't feel it wasn't an Amazon purchase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't some shady thing that was like, oh, we give like 5% to the tribes.
Right.
It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying like no one's perfect, but if you're not even trying, maybe you should think twice about being in that community if you're
Mm.
not willing to, because it's not only a monetary thing but it's also an energetic thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's which I feel like a lot of I guess Western cultures specifically don't really understand that like so much of ceremony and ritual is based on energy and
Yeah.
like the um right, it's not just like the object itself, it's like the meaning behind these objects and the
Right.
power that like a culture can give to something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like they're it's like a way to like connect as one, like through a conduit.
Yeah, and if you're doing the if you're bypassing all of that with the Amazon sage, you're not getting the benefits of the sage. It's the energy of the sage is not there. Same thing with the ayahuasca. Same thing
Mm.
with anything that's like, you know,
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Any like real cultural healing.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah. So I think the wellness spaces can use a little bit more inclusivity and just a little bit more pay a little more homage to the roots of their teachings.
yeah. Like like AA is so interesting. For example, right, where um it's not like scientifically based. It's like very spiritually
Hmm.
based.
Hmm.
And there's some sort of higher calling that you're really encouraged to seek out, like just the faith that at some point it will get better.
Hmm.
Um, and there's just so many different ways to do it, right? But it's all based on community and having a community that supports you,
Right.
and getting yourself out of whatever environment like made you feel terrible in the first place. Um, yeah, I don't know. People really do like to just like disrespect cultures for going about that process in a different way.
I think it's easy. It's easy to. It's very attractive to do because it's pretty. And for example, like I'm Mexican, so we do Day of the Dead ceremonies, and I get it. It's colorful. It's interesting. You're like, what's that? What's
Mm,
this about? Oh, I gotta buy these papers. Cool. I'm gonna buy the papers, and I'm gonna do. So I get it. It comes from a place of like interest and all that, but I think we lose the plot somewhere. you know,
yeah,
yeah, we lose the plot. We gotta honor the. I'm a little bit of a conservative when it comes to that. Like honor
yeah, honor our
the
ancestors.
ancestors. Like
Yeah,
don't switch too much stuff around. Like let it be.
yeah, which is I think totally okay.
yeah.
I think it is also important to have a heritage and understand where you come from
Hmm.
and honor that as well.
Yeah.
So to switch up a little bit, you mentioned that you are from Mexico, and I know a little bit more, right? Where you are from Mexico City,
Hmm.
and at some point you found out that your citizen status wasn't what you thought it was.
Hmm.
Can you share what that was like and how it like? I mean, how it really like made you see yourself, and I
Hmm.
mean, I know it affected your education and
Yeah.
just like where your place was.
Yeah. Well, I came when I was a little girl. So, as a child, you don't know the full extent of what's happening. You assume. But as I was becoming a young adult and getting ready to go to college, I submitted my paperwork as all other children do, right? Like
Mm,
go to the counselor, talk about colleges. And then when it came down to like applying, yeah, I was denied. And it was because I had come with a visa, but the visa had expired. And that was kind of I was like, wait, what does that mean?
yeah.
yeah. So
Oh man, yeah. That I mean, just being so young, like, what do you even do, right? It's like you just hit a wall. I'm sure.
huge wall. I think it really everything that I had dreamed for, everything that I had like my eyes set on and hoped really just came crashing down because as a child you just like get your hopes up and you're like, oh, I want this, and you
Mm.
start dreaming, and all of a sudden all the doors get slammed shut and you're
Oh
like,
man.
fuck, I can't do any of the things I wanted to do. I actually wanted to go to I remember so vividly. I had a meeting with my counselor, and they're like, "You got to pick schools," and I'm like, "Cool." They're like, "What schools do you want to go to?" And I said, "John Jay," and they're like, "Okay, what other schools?" And I'm like, "Just John Jay." And they're like, "What do you mean just John Jay? You gotta. What if you don't get in? Like, you gotta apply and give yourself more options." I was like, "Nope, that's all I want." And they're like, "Okay," and I got in.
Wow.
So, but then then the realities hit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how were you able to navigate through that moment? Like when all the doors slammed shut, like it must have been, you're right, like no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think the reason I was able to get through it was because my parents really supported me. They like motivated me and said, there'll be moments where you can go to school right now, might not be the time. Try to, maybe you can work, maybe you can do other things. We also moved from New York to Connecticut right after graduation, so that was like
Mm,
kind of like a cool like, oh, like that's fun, new adventure, new possibilities. So it didn't make me feel like I was staying in that town looking at everybody else go to college. I felt a little bit like I was getting away, starting brand new. So yeah, my family really helped me navigate through that. And yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and it's still hard to know that I didn't have that as a child. But in hindsight, I'm like, I wasn't gonna go to, what was I gonna do in John Jay?
oh, sure.
I wanted to do criminal justice, like a forensic psychologist, kind of, which is
Mm,
still kind of cool. But then now knowing what I know about like the police
oh,
and
sure. Yeah, the justice
the
system.
justice
Yeah.
system, I think I would have not ended up in a great place anyway.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to top it all off, which you did briefly mention, you did become a young mom, right? You had
Yeah.
that postpartum depression, and I'm sure that that has also disrupted your life quite a bit, or not disrupted, but at least changed your path.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I always wanted to be a mom.
mm,
So it wasn't like it wasn't in the cards for me. And it actually wasn't like a surprise. We were surprisingly, as young kids, we wanted to have children. Like we were like eager to get married, eager to have children.
mm,
So at a very young age. So it's Anthony is always my greatest teacher, my greatest pride, I say lovingly, my best work of art.
wow.
So yeah, I'm really glad that I'm a mom. I think it's one of my favorite things about me and my humanity. Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is nearly an adult now.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
about to get into his college experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, so what has motherhood taught you about like just time, like the passage of time and right, just the commitment to your path and also helping Anthony with his path.
Yeah, it's taught me that we're very interconnected. It's that whole, you know, unity. The idea of unity is taught to you when you're a mother, because at one point you're unite in one body, and
Mm,
then your whole life path is united for the rest of your life. So I think that that's why women and mothers tend to be so fierce and strong, is because they understand the importance of working together and loving someone unconditional. Like unconditional love is, it's beautiful to
mm.
experience, and some people never get that chance.
Yeah,
So
yeah, so true.
it's taught me a lot. Yeah, it continues to do
No,
so.
that's great. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little taken aback even.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just it's always good to hear just like an overwhelming amount of love, right? It's like I don't know. It's always it can just be so much.
Yeah, yeah. I think that that's what makes it all worth it. Um, that's why we're here. Is love, and that's what makes you like keep going, right? So it's like you, despite having setbacks, despite having hard times and going through mental health issues and everything, it's 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 the feeling of like love can transcend all of it, which is incredible. Even in my plant medicine journeys, I always come back being like, wow, we are one, we are
Oh
love.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
true.
When you have told me about some of that experience, it is like whoa, like deeply profound, deeply like
Yeah, so much confirmation,
yeah.
like things that we already know in our hearts, but somehow forget it. I think the rat race makes us forget it.
Yeah, it's everything we're fed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all the content, right? You could, in theory, consider it propaganda
Mm-hmm.
of
Oh
just
yeah,
like we have to act and be a certain way. To which some degree we do. We have to, unfortunately, make money to pay bills just because that's the way everything is set up, and not everybody gets an ideal job or ideal work hours or has time to pursue other things that would probably help them more in the long run. Um,
yeah. I feel like in times of deep mourning, which I think is what we're experiencing right now, is like we're all in a collective mourning.
mm,
COVID fucked us up royally. It shattered our illusion of security, and now with these dooming issues, we're all like, "Fuck!" The perfect life we thought we had was such a lie.
yeah.
So we're all really just mourning that innocence. And so what do you do when you're mourning is, you go through the stages of grief,
Mm,
but there's going to be a time where we come to acceptance, and acceptance is going to be ushered in by love. If we connect to love, we're going to be all right, because we got each
yeah.
other, right? We can do this. Love will overcome. If we let the fear take over, then we'll never end our mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely think there should just be a push for right, private people and communities coming together to support each other more
Mm-hmm.
often. Like I think it's very clear that the public service of the government can't really be relied on to establish and maintain
You're right.
community.
Yeah.
It's something that we all just have to do on our own and
Yeah.
make sure that we actually get out there.
And there's no saviors. No one's coming to save us.
Mm,
No one, like, I know it sounds like a little bit pessimistic and negative, but in reality, it's not. It's actually optimistic, because if you know you don't have to wait for anybody, it's all in your hands, then you have the power.
oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So,
All right. You let's change it up a little bit
okay.
here.
I could
Yeah.
get really
No, that was
existential. You know
fantastic.
me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that is a perfect place, at least for that segment, to wrap up. Um, so you spotlight nonprofits and making real change. What draws you to nonprofit work, and why is that such a core part of the Tiny Tea brand?
I think it's just, again, who I am. I'm all about like cooperation. I'm all about unity. I'm anti-establishment, so it just makes sense,
Mm,
because it's like we're not muddying the water with money. It's not about profits. It's about the community. It's about, you know, excuse me. It's about caring for one another. So that's what nonprofits do. They fill in those gaps that the establishment could not.
mm.
They just can't and will not,
Yeah,
actually,
can't
really.
or won't.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
exactly.
couldn't be bothered.
It's the
Yeah.
backbone of our communities. It's the silent heroes. There are people that don't realize that, you know, nonprofits do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like ecological things and
Oh
our
yeah,
animals.
yeah. The environmental stuff. It's mostly nonprofit work
Yeah.
that ends up uh, maintaining and protecting land, the ecology, uh, which is, I mean, good. But there should be people out there. Even like let's say that the government was doing their best and actually like saving national parks, like they should be. Like people should still be out there having these nonprofits making sure that that is actually happening.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because when there's money involved, when there's
Oh yeah.
corporations backing, there's an agenda. Not that nonprofits don't have agendas or corporate sponsors or all that, but it's just like at least there's some checks and balances. I don't know. I feel like at least they're a little bit more separated from it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely do your research, right? Make
Yeah,
sure you're donating to a nonprofit or a charity that is actually putting the majority of their money into,
exactly.
like back into the actual cause and not into the administration's pockets.
Yeah,
Because for whatever reason, admin can take like a ridiculous percentage if they really wanted to,
yeah,
like over 50% of the profits, realistically. And it's just like, oh, that's because of all the behind the scenes stuff that we have to do. And it's like, yeah, man, but if you go to like Make a Wish or whatever, like they're basically putting all their money back into it. Like they try to not take a lot, but there are other charities who will even like try to like mimic Make a Wish and make themselves look like Make a Wish. So you donate to them, and then they take a huge portion of whatever you're actually trying to donate. And it's like, damn, like if I had just done a little research, made sure that I was donating to a reputable charity, then my money would have actually gone towards real work. Because unfortunately, not everybody, there are going to be people who abuse any
yeah.
system.
Oh yeah. I mean there's what's this say a sucker born a minute or what did they
For
say?
sure.
Like people that scam. It's like a
Oh,
sucker born every minute or something.
mm,
So yeah, there's where there is light, there's darkness. But again, it's like take the time.
yeah,
Take the time. Talk to people. People that know, people that are inside behind behind those organizations. Ask questions.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna tell you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, people who are passionate are going to love to talk about their work.
Yeah.
Um, oh, yeah. I just forgot what I was going to say.
It's
That's okay. Yeah.
okay.
Have you ever had a guest or a story on your show that has deeply impacted you? One of those moments that you're like, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah, I hate to do this. This is such a mom cop out, but it's like they're all my favorites. you know, I, I feel like there's just things that I don't know that when people tell me, I'm like shocked. Like
Mm,
they're nuggets of information that are constantly given to me by our folks that come onto the podcast. That I'm
mm,
like, holy crap! Like that's incredible. Like John came on the podcast. My friend John came on the podcast to talk about his work, and it was just like everything he talks about, like restorative justice. Like
mm.
I didn't know 5% of that,
Oh, sure.
and so when he was like laying it down, I was like, holy crap! Like we really are like we're really coming at justice is the wrong way.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then Alora, you've met her.
Yes.
Alora, I didn't know anything about her background. She actually went to the UN, like was
Mm.
trying to be part of the UN,
Oh,
went to the
yeah.
Peace
Peace Corps,
Corps.
yeah.
I'm like, holy crap! I've been like sitting with this woman doing yoga this whole
Yeah,
time,
right?
and
I had no idea.
she's had so many fascinating stories, and her approach to community is like so rooted in that.
Mm.
So yeah, everybody that comes on is just always Peggy. Everybody has always been just flooring me with their knowledge and their hearts. Yeah.
Mm. That is awesome. Um, oh shoot. Yeah, the if you want even a little bit more material about like restorative justice, there's this really good book called Be a Revolution.
Ooh.
And it's all about modern abolitionism.
Period.
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. The approach is like, well, unfortunately, I guess the idea is like a lot of modern abolition is like you don't really get to see the work because you're not actually like freeing individuals. You're trying to change the laws to make it harder for uh, at-risk individuals to be arrested for no reason,
Incarcerated. Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because it's like the book goes on to say at one point where it's like if you are I mean, already, right? If you're a minority or if you're disabled, you already have a greater risk.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are both, then it's not a matter of like if you'll be arrested, it's a matter of when.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because like if you get pulled over from a traffic stop, it's just like, right, like, you're a minority. A cop is already like, oh God, and then now you're disabled, and the cop is escalating the situation, and you just don't know how to emotionally handle yourself.
Right, right.
And it's just like neither does the cop, and it's just like that guy has a gun.
Exactly. It's insane. I think for me, learning when I'm back in school for social work, we're learning a lot of sociology and anthropology. And in my sociology class, we watched the documentary Left Behind, and it was these children that were part of Louisiana school system that could not pass any of their classes.
Oh.
They were getting incarcerated. They were getting into drugs, like dropping out, like it, and despite having a ton of money poured into their education. So everybody was like, where's the money? Why are the kids not passing? Like there were so many questions. And what that documentary unfolded was that the town that they lived in became a sort of living prison. The
Oh.
kids were like not given opportunities, and they just like stayed there and were victims of that environment.
Sure.
And so that opened up my eyes, and I was like, wow, so it's not that it's not even that kids are going or people are getting put into jails, but now
Yeah,
their
open air
environment
prisons.
is a
Yeah.
fucking jail.
Yeah.
Like, they can't get out. There's no opportunities.
Oh yeah, that's a huge problem for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's eye opening.
Yeah, and whenever there is, right, like let's say a thriving community for minorities, like Black Wall Street or something, like there's always like an angry mob of white people who are like, oh, we can't allow this minority group to benefit at all.
It's nuts. It's really, really, really super nuts. Yeah, I mean, that learning the why behind what's happening I'm really enjoying it, but it's hard. It's heavy. It's
Mm,
heavy stuff.
I'm sure. Uh, have you learned anything, I don't know, else about yourself since starting Tiny T? And has your voice of confidence changed since launching?
Oh, wow. Learn stuff about myself. I learned that I have a hard time um, with tr- being imperfect or starting things when they're not quite great. We talked about our podcast, how where there's a lot of learning curves
Mm,
in podcasting, and so this podcast took me years to launch. Years. It was in my notes app for years. I was
wow.
muddling over details. And so I still find myself doing that even now, where I'm like, I really want to do an episode about this, and I just like let it sit there for.
Mm,
So that's something that I've learned about myself, like, oh wow, what's the perfectionism about? Like, what's that about?
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely good to not stress over the tiny things
Yeah.
and do it even if it's bad, right?
Yeah, and it's hard for me, and I'm sure it's hard
Yeah.
for you too. Like
Yeah.
it's just, but I've learned to let go a little bit more at a time. So I've definitely changed. And then as far as like, what was the last thing?
Your voice of confidence.
Oh yeah, I'm like more confident. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I could use some more confidence. I think because I'm talking to people that are interesting to me. Also because I'm talking about topics that are really fascinating.
Mm,
I don't feel any kind of like self consciousness because it's
for
like
sure.
it's just cool.
Mm,
Yeah, I guess if you put me in a bikini and had me talk about like things that I don't give a fuck about,
yeah.
then maybe I'd be a little bit less confident. But I feel pretty good about it. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, just pursue what you're passionate about, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Not
easy.
not everyone's cup of tea.
Right. I'm definitely not everyone's cup of tea, and that's
Yeah, and
okay.
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm totally
Yeah,
fine with that.
yeah. A lot of people do just want to look at people in bikinis and talk about sports or
And
whatever.
that's not me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I can't do surface level, unfortunately. I tried.
Yeah, it gets boring kind of fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's somebody listening who's thinking about starting a podcast or a nonprofit, what's your advice for getting started and without losing yourself?
Oh, great. My first piece of advice would say, like, don't second guess yourself. Like, if there's a reason you want to do a topic, like, even if there wasn't a reason, but it just called to you, just stick to it.
Mm.
It will be, even if it won't stay the same topic, it'll morph into something that feels right. That's how you stay like authentic.
Mm.
Same thing with nonprofits. Like if there's a community that really calls to you, but it's kind of weird or nobody's done it before, like just go for it. You'd be surprised how many people are willing to like be part of it and like volunteer and like help you. Ask questions would be the most, my second most biggest advice is like I
Mm.
ask so many questions to people that already had podcasts or even online like TikTok.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, so many resources.
when I announced it on TikTok, people were like, I was like, guys, give me advice, and people were like texting me and DMing me and giving me so much good advice. So yeah, just stick to what calls you, even if it doesn't make sense, and like ask for help because people are gonna want to help you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think going off of like go with what calls you is be open to change.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's a
you
great.
might not realize that what you are doing is not exactly what you thought it would be.
Be flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great piece of advice. Um, absolutely, absolutely. Always pivot
Oh
when
yeah.
needed.
Yeah, be adaptable.
Yeah, adaptability. It's gonna get you places these days.
Yeah, confidence and adaptability will
Yeah,
get you far.
even if you don't have the confidence going in it, you'll build it. It's a muscle,
Yeah, yeah, it's something you have to work on.
right?
You can't just ignore it and expect to be confident.
Yeah, you're gonna hate your voice the first time you hear it. That's normal.
Yeah, it's
You're
normal.
gonna think you're fat, even if you're like 2 pounds.
Yeah,
It's
also normal.
normal. You're gonna think what you said was stupid. You're gonna say a lot and so what? And it's gonna take you a shit ton of time. But then you're gonna fine tune.
Yeah, everyone talks that way.
Yeah,
It's fine. No
it'll be
one's judging you
okay.
for it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like people want to hear what you're talking about and that it has that you're passionate about it. It's like that passion in your voice.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's so important.
yeah.
Keep that passion.
You can't fake it if you're really passionate
Oh,
about
you
it.
definitely can't fake it. People can sense it from a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you find success?
Success. There's a great quote by Maya Angelou. Success is doing what you love, loving how you do it, something like that. Sorry, Maya. R.I.P. It really, what I interpreted was you make success when you feel like you're doing something that is meaningful to you
Mm,
and you like yourself while you're doing it. So, how do I find it? I try not to compromise myself and be like shrink myself down or fit into places that I don't fit in. Um, I made it a rule, like in my career, that if I can't show up how I want to show up, then that's like not the place for me.
mm,
And that's like physically, emotionally, like I just try to. I don't go into places like very corporate anymore. I used to,
yeah.
you put the corporate voice on and do the handshake and the tie and the whole thing.
Oh, sure.
Like I don't do that anymore. I just talk normal and I look people in the eye and I ask stupid questions and I'm just myself. And then the people that fuck with me. And the places I'm supposed to be just appear, kind of. Yeah,
That's
so that's
incredible.
success to me. It's just when you can do what you want
Mm,
and not like
yeah.
be anything else.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Mimi, thank you for bringing your voice and your vibe
thank
and
you.
your vision uh, to Intern to Expert. Your blend of magic and mission is exactly what more of this world needs.
Thank you.
Um, so, just one last question to close us out.
Sure.
What is one truth that keeps you grounded on the days when life feels messy?
Ooh, what's one truth? Nothing matters. Nothing matters. It's it's all it's all a short ride. So yeah, just have fun with it. Try to have fun with it. And those hard days, be like, well, this won't matter in a few years or when I'm dead. That keeps me happy. I don't know if that's dark, but
I think it's good to have a little bit of that, right?
yeah, nothing really matters. I mean, we're on a floating rock,
Uh,
so who
yeah,
cares?
on a spaceship to nowhere.
Might as well be silly, goofy, and fun. Like, have a good time as much as you can.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
mitigate your suffering.
Yeah, and love as
Uh,
much as you can.
yeah, and love.
Love when you can get it.
It doesn't hurt. It
Yeah.
doesn't cost anything.
No, totally free.
Totally free.
Cheers, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no worries. Is
Yeah.
there anything you want to shout out?
Shout out to Mother Earth. Yeah, just shout out to her. Let's take care of her and let's take care of each other.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you love this conversation, go check out Tiny Tea Podcast. I'll put a link in the description. And don't forget to follow us for more deep dives into what it really means to grow with purpose. This has been Intern to Expert. Keep learning, keep lifting, and keep evolving.
Yeah.
There we go.